Welcome. Brit's got your number. So we'll journey through the frequency less traveled. Isn't that one heck of a tagline? One of my energy people, my clients, came and they came up with that wonderful title. It really is about journeying in unfamiliar places. We all have to stretch a little bit our bandwidth because we're in a different timeline, if you want to think of it that way. So I'm Brit, and I do a lot of numerology. So I also say, Brit's got your number, because I like figuring people out, because I think if you really know yourself, you can know how to use your gifts and talents. And then you'll always know the sort of Achilles heel that you're working on, personal lessons that you're accumulating in this lifetime. So this morning I went to get a bagel at the local, Brugger's type of shop, and I couldn't get anyone to wait on me inside. So I asked him, I said, should I leave and go through the drive-thru? Like, should I walk through the drive-thru or get in the car? Because the only focus that they had was on the drive-thru, which I thought was crazy because the inside was empty, and it was so out of balance. So many things seem out of balance. So if you're looking really to get more in balance, you have to raise your consciousness a little bit. We're all looking to do conscious raising things because we're in a great shift, whether you know it or not. We're all shifting. So we'll take a look at some things that I've, come up with for today, because it's always about the pictures. I say that, but it's true. It is. It's always about the pictures and what's interesting. So we'll start off with this. This is a crutch. I know lots of times in my life that I've been in situations where I've been in crutches, where I've leaned too heavily on people, or I've let fear run my life. So I've really limped along on lots of crutches. Even doing these little podcasts were a way to eliminate my own personal crutches. Because if you give me an out, if I'm afraid, I'll take the crutch. And I'll use the crutch long after I need it. Isn't that what we do? I think I have the same shirt on as I had last time too. Isn't that interesting? You'll think I don't have any clothes. And I'm not in a costume, but this will seem like this is my costume, things that I wear when I do these little videos. But that's not true. But I do have a costume when I do energy work. And it's interesting, Zev Coleman, who's my mentor, this is his book. This is kind of an amazing book. I love this book because it really changed my life on so many levels. It's a person falling out of a diamond, and it's all about the blue diamonds that we're all connected to. We're all a part of those wonderful blue diamonds. Blue diamonds are everywhere. And the book is fascinating because it's the mind is the healer, the mind is the killer. It has a lot of other things in it. It really explains this blue energy because everybody wants to know all about it. So Professor Zev Coleman is the expert. Although I'm not plugging him or anything, I'm just sharing something that I like. It's good to do that. It's good to share what you like. Because if you share what you like, sometimes you can give somebody a little bit of insight. That's not a bad thing. So, it's interesting. Everybody dates, right? So everybody's like on all these different dating sites, and you go to all these speed datings, situations. Although I've never done that, I've never had this process of speed dating. But with the way things are going, this would be a speed dating question. What is fluoride? Person on the other side of the table says, oh, it's good for your teeth. Person on the other side of the table says, next. Because fluoride actually is the worst possible thing. Well, one of them, because it calcifies the pineal gland, which is the master gland. So you won't be too intuitive. you wouldn't be too insightful, and you could be easily controlled. So if somebody wants to give it to your kid, run. This is my personal belief anyway. And I wouldn't use anything that has it in it. I'd rather use plain water than, but non-fluorinated water. So that's a process too. And don't think that your systems take the fluoride out, because it's not true. There's methods. You have to do some digging. Otherwise, you're going to be sticking that stuff in your mouth, and it isn't necessarily good for your pineal gland, because it does make you very controllable, and it makes you dull. So you just buy a pitcher on Amazon, you strain your own water, and then you can brush your teeth with it. I make coffee with it, tea with it, the whole bit. We had some, wind, right? There's a lot of wind kicking up this week. That was kind of a different experience. It was supposed to be worse. The way that they hysterically, talk about it, sometimes you would think that, the whole city's going to be in darkness. Well, it could be. So that was kind of nice that it wasn't. I'm glad that whether it was a created event, somehow, spraying things in the air, or however weather happens these days. I'm not really positive how anything really works anymore. I just know that maybe you should look at things different ways. Don't look at everything the same way. If somebody's trying to place something to you, you'd want to maybe think about it a different way. Because this is what I found to be true. People that overthink things, the overthinker who tells you that they love you and they are assuring that they love you, have probably thought of every reason not to. So if somebody's into the habit of overthinking, I don't trust them, because whatever way they're thinking, they've just come to these conclusions, and they can switch like a light bulb and come to other conclusions. So don't always go by what your mind is telling you, because if you're really in a lot of fluoride situation, you could be coming up with very fearful, very kooky conclusions about lots of things. And, what could happen, you could wind up with a haircut like the one on the bottom. Who remembers getting a haircut like that? I think every kid in their life, male or female, has gotten a haircut like the one on the bottom, the little bowl cut. Usually, a kid will get a hold of scissors and do their own homemade haircuts, and then the mother has to go higher, and then the kid finds the picture. Like my son was looking for pictures, senior, right? They want a collection of pictures when you were young, and he found his bowl cut picture. I think everybody has a bowl cut picture. I think you just have to look through enough boxes. Unless you were the type of kid like I was, if there was any bad pictures of me hanging around, they didn't last too long. I was the picture destroyer. I'm kind of embarrassed to say that now, because some of them I wish I had some of the pictures that I cut up. Anyway, so this was kind of interesting if you're into this kind of look, right? So, everybody knows who this is, right? Well, it's sad that everybody knows who she is, because, well, it is what it is, but isn't that an interesting dress to be wearing? Like the tie me down and just duct tape me look. Like this is just, because I haven't gotten enough attention in my life type of thing. I'm seeking. I need a little tiny bit more attention. My narcissism level just hasn't peaked. So I thought that was interesting. And look at the duct tape on her hands. Like, isn't that a pretty bracelet? Isn't that interesting? It's not subliminal or anything. Such good taste too, right? I'm in one of those moods, I guess, making observations. It's what we do, but it's not judging, because we can't judge. Everybody has a right to look like that in public. Everybody has a right to dress the way they want, right? Everybody has a right to trust their nudges. Your nudges are the things that the universe is saying to you by your higher self. Anytime you're inspired to create something, anytime you're created to do something, anytime there's a little whisper that you ought to be going in a different direction, you've got to learn to trust your nudges. So no fluoride in the water. Don't dress like a slut. Get into some meditation. And don't get a toilet bowl haircut. And don't wait in line, right? Speak up. Tell them, hey, do I need to go outside for my bagel? I'm jumping around a little bit today, but I'm in that kind of mood because, you know, it's what I do. Always jump around. Always be my own best friend in body. Whether you're doing this or you're doing something else, you always have to figure things out on your own, don't you? It's just the way it goes. So what else am I looking at? Oh, this was interesting. So I do energy work. Everybody knows that, right? I talk about that endlessly because I post what people say all the time about their sessions. And a person sent me this because she felt like her entire crown opened up. The crown chakra is the chakra at the top, you know, baby soft spot, right? Everybody's got a crown. This is the energy center where if this is open, this gate, you would feel a tremendous connection to spirit, to source. Synchronicity would be very clear. You would have this sensation of oneness with everything. It's a beautiful feeling when your crown chakra opens up. So during the energy session, that was her sensation, her crown. So that was very, very good. I'm glad that she had that experience, and I'm glad that, you know, I'm glad that I could post about it because, you know, everybody thinks of a crown, they think of this. Oh my God. Did you know that Queen Elizabeth owns 1/6 of the land on Earth? Think about that, 1/6. This woman, she's usually wearing those crowns, right? Those $40 billion crowns. She could end world hunger and poverty 10 times over. 10 times over, she could end it. In other words, no more world hunger, no more, children starving. Think about it. Even though it might not be your child, think about that. And poverty 10 times over, and she'd still have a fortune. Her land, just the land, forget all the other stuff, is worth over $30 trillion. Instead of benefiting the planet, she and her, well, I don't want to get into that part, but that's just the way this is, you see. This is one type of crown. And the other type of crown, you know, is for enlightenment. We have a lot of different thoughts. There's a lot of different aspects to doing good, thinking good, being good. You know, there is an awakening happening on this planet. It's an awakening. It's going to happen. It's going mainstream. Can't stop it anymore. There's nothing that can be done to suppress it. I'm kind of excited about it. You know, we continue to ascend. We continue to think good, be good, do good. We continue to aspire to be ourselves. This awakening is going mainstream. That I know. I never thought I would see the day of any of this in my life, even though I've been, you know, sort of an aware person, so to speak, sort of an open-minded person. Never, ever imagined. Okay, so I'm going to end today. Do a quick one. There's nothing wrong with quickie. Say how you feel. Leave the job that you hate. Stand up for things that matter. Love with all your heart. Don't settle. And never, ever, ever apologize for who you are. And remember, it's always about the numbers. Numerology is energy and information. People think that they need to know a great deal about numerology, but they don't. You don't need to know anything about numerology. You only need to know about your birth date. You can always ask me questions. Brit's got your number at Gmail or britsgotyournumber.com. So I'm glad you were listening today. I'm really glad you were here. I hope this gave you a little bit of insight about something and maybe twirling something. Because if you're twirling, you're raising your consciousness and you're raising your frequency and you're raising your vibration.